Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Sophie, and I'm here with Leo today. I'm really happy to be here. How are you feeling, Leo?
Hi, Sophie. Hi, everyone. I'm feeling calm today, which is nice. Some days feel heavy, but today feels light. How about you?
I feel the same. Some mornings are busy and loud in my head, but right now I feel okay. And that's why today's topic feels close to my heart.
Yes, today we're talking about small habits that make your day better. Not big plans, not life-changing moves, just small things we do every day.
Exactly. These small habits don't look special, but they change how we feel. They help us feel more in control and more kind to ourselves.
And the best part is, anyone can do them. You don't need more time or more money. You just need a little attention.
We'll share personal stories, small moments, and simple ideas. Nothing perfect, just real life.
If you're listening after a long day, we hope this feels like a soft break for you.
And before we start, if you enjoy this conversation, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us and keeps you close to our future talks.
Thank you for being here with us. Let's begin.
When I think about small habits, the first thing that comes to my mind is how I start my morning. Not the big plan, but the first 5 minutes.
That's interesting. I used to think mornings did not matter much, but now I see how they set the mood for the day.
Yes, exactly. For me, one small habit is not touching my phone right after I wake up. I just sit on the bed and breathe for a moment.
I like that idea. I usually grab my phone fast, and then my mind becomes busy in 1 second. Messages, news, work.
That happens to me too when I'm not careful. But when I don't touch my phone, I feel more calm. I feel like the day belongs to me, not to everyone else.
That's a nice way to say it. I started a small habit too. I drink a glass of water before coffee. It sounds very simple, but it helps my body wake up slowly.
Really? I forget to do that sometimes. But when I remember, I feel better too. My head feels clearer.
Yes, and it's not about being healthy in a perfect way. It's just about listening to your body a little.
I feel the same. Another small habit I like is making my bed. I know it sounds boring, but it changes my mood.
That happens to me too. When my bed is messy, my room feels messy, and then my mind feels messy.
Exactly. Making the bed takes maybe 1 minute, but it gives me a small feeling of success.
I like that word, success. It's a small win. Even if the rest of the day is hard, you already did one good thing.
Yes, and that feeling stays with you. It's like telling yourself, I can take care of small things.
During the day, I have another habit that helps me a lot. I take short breaks, even when I feel busy.
That's hard for many people. I sometimes feel guilty when I stop working.
Me too. But I learned that a short break can make me work better later. I stand up, stretch, or look out the window.
Looking out the window is a good one. I do that at work. I just watch the sky for a minute.
It helps your eyes and your mind. You feel less stuck.
Yes, and I think small habits are also about being kind to yourself, not pushing all the time.
That's true. I used to think rest was a reward. Now I see it as a need.
I like that idea. Another small habit I have is writing one sentence in the evening. Just one.
What kind of sentence?
Today I felt tired but proud, or I enjoyed my coffee in the morning.
That sounds nice. It's not a long diary, just a small moment.
Exactly. It helps me remember that even normal days have something good.
That happens to me too when I think about my day before sleeping. I ask myself one simple question.
What question?
I ask, What went okay today? Not perfect, just okay.
I love that. It takes away pressure. Some days are not great, but something is always okay.
Yes, and this habit helps me sleep better. My mind feels softer.
Speaking of evenings, I try to slow down at night. I lower the lights and turn off loud sounds.
That's a good habit. I used to watch videos until very late, and then I couldn't sleep well.
Same here. Now I choose calm music or silence. My body understands it's time to rest.
It's interesting how small signals change our mood. Light, sound, even how we sit.
Yes, small habits send messages to our brain. They say, you are safe. You can relax.
During hard days, these habits help even more. When I feel stressed, I return to simple things.
That happens to me too. When life feels big, small habits feel grounding.
Grounding is a good word. It means feeling connected to the moment.
Yes, exactly. And these habits don't need to be perfect every day.
That's important to say. Missing a habit one day does not mean you failed.
I agree. The goal is not control. The goal is care.
Care for yourself, your time, and your energy.
And when we care for ourselves in small ways, our days slowly feel better.
Not suddenly, but gently.
Gently is the key word.
I think many listeners need to hear that today.
I hope so too. When we talk about small habits, I also think about how we speak to ourselves during the day, because that inner voice follows us everywhere and quietly shapes how we feel about even very normal moments.
I agree with that so much because I notice that on stressful days, I am not only tired from work, but also tired from my own thoughts, especially when I keep saying negative things to myself without even noticing it.
That happens to me too, especially when I make a small mistake, like forgetting an email or being late, and then my mind starts talking in a very unkind way.
Yes, and the habit I am trying to build is stopping for a second and changing that voice, not to something very positive, but just to something more gentle and fair.
That is a very realistic goal, because going from very negative to very positive feels fake sometimes, but going to something neutral feels possible.
Exactly. And I often say to myself, it's okay. This happens to many people, which sounds simple, but it really lowers the stress in my body.
I like that, because it sounds like something you would say to a friend, not something cold or distant.
That's true. And I think one small habit that helps is talking to yourself the way you would talk to someone you care about.
I feel the same, and I try to practice this especially on busy days when everything feels rushed and my patience becomes very small.
Busy days are the hardest because small problems feel big, and then the whole day can feel heavy for no clear reason.
Yes, and on those days, I have another small habit that helps me a lot, which is slowing down one activity on purpose.
That sounds interesting. Can you explain what you mean by that?
When I drink tea or coffee, I don't check my phone at the same time, and I try to really taste it and feel the cup in my hands.
That happens to me sometimes too. And when I do it, I feel more present, like my mind finally arrives where my body already is.
That's a beautiful way to say it, because so often our bodies are here, but our minds are already in the next hour or the next problem.
And this habit does not take more time. It just changes how you use the time you already have.
Exactly. And that's why small habits work so well, because they fit into real life instead of fighting against it.
Another habit I am trying to keep is sending short messages to people I care about, even when I feel busy or tired.
I love that habit because it builds connection without pressure, and it reminds both sides that they are not alone.
Yes, sometimes I just send a simple message like, I hope your day is going okay. And that small action makes me feel warmer inside.
That happens to me too when I receive messages like that, especially on days when I feel invisible or quiet.
It's interesting how such a small thing can change the emotional color of the whole day.
I think small habits often work like that. They don't remove problems, but they change how heavy those problems feel.
That's very true. And I also noticed that small habits help me feel more stable, especially when my mood changes during the day.
Mood changes are very normal, but we often expect ourselves to feel the same all day, which is not realistic.
Yes, and when my mood goes down, instead of fighting it, I try a simple habit like taking a short walk or stretching my body.
Movement helps me too. Not intense exercise, but gentle movement that reminds my body it is alive and capable.
Exactly. And sometimes I just walk around the room or outside for 5 minutes, and it already feels like a reset.
I think that's an important point because many people think habits must be big and serious to matter.
But in reality, habits that are too big often don't last, while small ones quietly stay with us.
Yes, and another habit I like is preparing small things in advance, like choosing clothes the night before.
That helps me too, because mornings can feel stressful, and any small decision can suddenly feel difficult.
Exactly. And when one small decision is already done, the morning feels lighter and more friendly.
I feel the same, and I also prepare my bag or desk before sleeping, which gives me a calm feeling before bed.
That calm feeling is important because it tells your brain that things are under control, even if life is not perfect.
And I think many adults between work, family, and responsibilities really need that feeling.
Yes, especially when days start to feel the same and motivation feels low.
On those days, I remind myself that motivation does not always come first. Sometimes action comes first, even a very small action.
That's a great point because waiting to feel ready can make us wait forever.
Exactly. But doing one small habit can slowly create that ready feeling.
And when you look back after a few weeks, you notice that your days feel different, even if you can't explain why.
That difference comes from many small choices, not one big change.
Yes, and that's comforting because it means change is possible for everyone.
Even on hard days, even with little energy.
Especially on those days. I also think small habits become very important when we talk about emotions because our feelings change during the day, and we often forget to check in with ourselves in a calm and honest way.
That is very true. And I notice that when I ignore my feelings for too long, they don't disappear, but they come back later in a stronger and heavier way.
The same thing happens to me too, especially when I tell myself I am too busy to feel anything, which sounds strange, but many people do that.
Yes, and one small habit I try to keep is asking myself how I feel. Not in a deep or serious way, but just a simple question during the day.
I like that idea because it sounds gentle, not like a problem to solve, but like a small moment of care.
Exactly. And sometimes the answer is simple, like I feel tired or I feel nervous, and just naming it already makes it lighter.
That happens to me too, because when I name the feeling, I stop fighting it and I understand myself a little better.
And then I can choose a small habit that fits that feeling, like resting for a moment or slowing down my work.
That's very important because small habits are not the same every day. They change depending on what we need.
Yes, and that flexibility makes them kind and realistic, not strict or stressful.
Another small habit that helps my emotions is keeping my space simple and comfortable, even if it's just one corner of a room.
I really understand that because when my space feels chaotic, my thoughts also feel chaotic, even if I don't notice it right away.
Exactly. And I don't mean a perfect clean room, just small actions like opening a window or putting things back in place.
That small order gives a sense of calm, like your environment is working with you, not against you.
Yes, and light is also very important for me because natural light changes my mood in a quiet but strong way.
That happens to me too, and when I can, I sit near a window or go outside for a few minutes.
It's interesting how our bodies react to light and air, even when our minds are busy with other things.
And these habits remind us that we are not just thinking machines, but living bodies that need simple care.
Another habit I learned over time is letting go of small perfection, especially in daily tasks.
That is a big one because many people feel tired not because they do too much, but because they expect too much from themselves.
I feel the same, and I try to tell myself that doing something good enough is often enough for a normal day.
That idea helped me a lot because it reduced pressure and made space for rest and joy.
Yes, and when pressure goes down, energy often comes back in a natural way.
That's very true. And another habit I like is ending the workday with a clear signal.
What kind of signal do you mean?
I close my laptop, clean my desk a little, and take a deep breath so my body understands that work time is over.
I love that, because without that signal, work can stay in your head all evening.
Exactly. And then even rest doesn't feel like rest because your mind is still working.
I try to do something similar by changing clothes or washing my face, which helps me shift into evening mode.
These small transitions are very powerful, even though they look simple.
Yes, they help us separate parts of the day and protect our energy.
In the evening, I also try to choose calm activities, not because I must, but because I want to feel settled.
That's important. Choosing habits from care, not from rules.
Exactly. And sometimes calm means reading. Sometimes it means quiet music. And sometimes it just means sitting in silence.
Silence is very underrated, but it helps the mind rest without effort.
I agree. And I think many people are afraid of silence because it feels empty, but it can also feel safe.
Yes, and in that quiet space, you can hear what you really need.
That's why small habits are not just actions, but small conversations with yourself.
I love that idea because it shows that habits are about connection, not control.
Connection with your body, your feelings, and your daily life.
And when that connection is strong, days feel more balanced, even when problems are still there.
Not perfect, but more human.
Exactly. More human is enough. When I think about everything we talked about, I realize that small habits also help us trust ourselves more, because every small action is like a quiet promise that we can keep.
I really like that idea because trust does not come from big success stories, but from these small moments when we show up for ourselves again and again.
Yes, and over time, these moments slowly change how we see ourselves, not as someone who is always behind, but as someone who is trying and caring.
That change in perspective is very powerful, especially for adults who feel tired, busy, or unsure about where their life is going.
I agree, and I think many people feel pressure to improve everything at once, which often leads to feeling stuck instead of motivated.
That's why small habits feel safer. Because they don't ask for a new version of you. They work with who you already are.
Exactly. And they respect your energy, your time, and even your bad days.
Bad days are part of life, and I think a good habit is knowing when to lower expectations instead of pushing harder.
That's very important because rest is not quitting, it's listening.
Yes, and on days when I feel low, my habit is doing the smallest helpful thing I can think of, like taking a shower or opening a window.
Those actions may look small from the outside, but inside, they can feel like real support.
And once you do one small thing, it often becomes easier to do another without force.
That gentle flow is something I really value because it removes the feeling of fighting with myself.
Fighting yourself is exhausting, and small habits help turn that fight into cooperation.
Cooperation is a beautiful word here because it means working with your mind and body, not against them.
Over time, this creates a feeling of stability, even when life outside feels uncertain.
Yes, and stability does not mean everything is calm. It means you know how to take care of yourself when things are not calm.
That's such an important difference, and it's something many people learn slowly through experience.
I also think small habits help us notice our lives more, instead of rushing through days and weeks without remembering them.
That's very true, because when you slow down for small moments, days stop feeling like one long blur.
You start to remember how the light looked in the morning or how a small conversation made you smile.
Those details give life texture and warmth, even when nothing big is happening.
And I think many adults believe life must be exciting all the time to be meaningful, which creates a lot of pressure.
Yes, but small habits show us that meaning can also live in quiet routines and simple care.
That idea feels very comforting to me, especially on normal days that don't stand out.
Me too, because most of life is made of normal days, not special events.
And if we can make normal days feel a little kinder, a little lighter, that's already a big success.
I completely agree, and I hope listeners remember that habits are not rules written in stone.
They can change, grow, or disappear, depending on what you need at that moment.
Exactly. And there's no habit that works for everyone, which is why listening to yourself is so important.
I hope people feel encouraged to choose one small habit that feels friendly, not heavy.
And to let go of habits that feel like punishment instead of support.
Life already asks a lot from us, so our habits should help us breathe, not make us feel smaller.
That's a very kind way to look at it.
As we finish this conversation, I feel calm and grateful for these simple ideas.
Me too, and I hope our listeners feel a little more gentle with themselves today.
If even one small habit stays with them, this conversation has done its job.
Yes, because small habits may look quiet, but their effect can be deep and lasting.
Thank you for sharing this space with me, Mio.
Thank you too, Sophie, and thank you to everyone who listened with us.